You know the exact physical sensation. Your heart rate spikes, a stop loss gets triggered, wiping out your morning's profit. Instead of stepping away, your hand tightens around the mouse, and you enter another trade, desperate to win it back. It feels like the market is actively hunting your positions. But the reality is different. The stock market doesn't know who you are. The entity sabotaging your trades, draining your account, and forcing panicked clicks is your own mind. Look at the environments where trading was born. Before algorithmic bots, it was a shouting match on a crowded floor. The volume of data, noise, and moving prices is naturally overwhelming, frequently inducing panic in anyone who hasn't prepared for the sensory load. Mark Douglas recognized this trap. In his work on trading psychology, he laid out a framework to short-circuit that panic. We are going to look at 3 practical rules to shift your approach from that of a reactive gambler to a disciplined trader. Mastering a technical indicator is the first step, but it's only half the battle. If your emotions prevent you from actually executing the setup you see on the screen, the data itself won't save your capital. Since childhood, we are taught a specific equation for success. If you study hard, you get good grades. If you work long hours, you get paid. But apply that societal logic to a financial market, and you will get crushed. In trading, effort does not guarantee a predictable result. There is no magic indicator. There is no technical setup that guarantees a win every time. Predicting the next move of any asset remains impossible. Instead of seeking certainty, you have to think in probabilities. Imagine a rigged coin that lands on heads 60% of the time. You won't know the result of the next individual flip. But if you flip it 1,000 times, that mathematical edge produces a profit in the long run. Trading follows this same logic. A chart pattern might look exactly like one you saw last week, but the buyers and sellers interacting right now are completely different. Every market movement is a unique event. When you internalize that the next price tick is random, the fear disappears. You stop treating a losing trade as a personal failure and start treating it as a standard business expense required to find the next winning probability. Most jobs come with a structure. You have a boss, a schedule, and clear rules. The stock exchange offers the opposite, an environment of complete autonomy. You decide when to buy, how much to risk, and when to sell. This lack of structure is dangerous. Without external boundaries, your brain defaults to its primal instincts. Greed pushes you to hold a winning position too long, and fear forces you to sell at the worst possible moment. The only way to survive is to build your own structure. Before a single dollar is risked, you define your entry point. Then you place a hard stop loss to cap your downside and a take profit order to lock in your upside. You keep the trade within this locked zone. Executing trades without these predefined boundaries is like driving a high-speed car down an open highway with no brakes. You might enjoy the speed for a few miles, but eventually a crash becomes a mathematical certainty. In an arena that offers no rules, your own self-imposed parameters are the only defense mechanism you have. They are the only things keeping your capital alive. The final barrier is your own ego. It is easy to tie your self-worth to your portfolio. When a trade goes your way, you feel brilliant. When it collapses, you get angry and convince yourself the market is manipulated. Professionals do not take the market's behavior personally. They isolate themselves from the noise and look entirely at the data. The price is just a number. It is not a reflection of your intelligence. Your job is to execute a plan based on price action and risk parameters. If the setup is there, you take the trade. If it's not, you wait. Your internal feelings, your hopes, and your anxieties have zero relevance to the execution. Think of a top-tier surgeon in an operating room. They don't panic if complications arise or get wildly excited when an incision goes perfectly. They rely on their training to execute a technical process with total emotional detachment. Sometimes that discipline means doing nothing. If your predefined setup does not appear on the chart, you have to be comfortable closing your laptop for the day. No fear of missing out, no desperation, and no overtrading. Elite traders aren't hitting the buy button for an adrenaline rush. They approach their daily systems with the cold, objective precision of a machine. This brings us to the core of the profession. You cannot force the market to move in your direction. You can only control your risk exposure and your own reactions to the data. You can buy the most expensive trading course online and memorize every chart pattern ever documented. But until you establish this disciplined psychological baseline, none of it will generate consistent wealth. I want you to look back at your last 5 losing trades. Be honest with yourself. Was it a mathematical failure of your strategy, or did fear and greed cause you to break your own rules? Drop your answer in the comments below. Identifying which emotion is causing your losses is the first step toward taking real accountability. Subscribe to master your trading psychology. In the market, long-term survival